Hey everyone, today's tutorial is a quick one. I'm going to show you how to take a photo and take the subject and put it on a completely different background. As you can see, I've picked this gorgeous photo of Mulan shot by Riley. Whatever photo you're working with, it's always good to keep in mind that the photographer does own the rights to the photo, so make sure you have permission before you start editing any photo. Other things to look for in your photos is any lighting. That will be important for matching your background to make it look more realistic. So you want to look where shadows are falling and match that to your background. An optional step is to do some basic edits, bring up the color, brightness, contrast, whatever you want on your initial photo before we cut it out and move it to the background. Then merge or group all your layers and then select the pen tool, which is easily accessible on the left panel of Photoshop. Just click it, or shortcut key is P, and then zoom right into your photo as close as is comfortable without it getting too pixely, and start clicking all around your subject like a connect the dot, and get as many details as you can. If hair's coming off the shoulder, you don't want to cut it off, so make sure you get a little bit of that detail, stuff like that. Make sure you're following every curve. If you need to zoom in more, zoom in and get those really tight edges, and then just cut out your subject. When you get to the end of completing your cutout, you need to finish the connection by using the pen tool, and if you hover over the first point you made, it will turn into a little circle. That means you've completed it. So click it and it will outline in like a little gray line. And then over in your layers panel, click the tab that says paths. Right click on the path that you've created and click make selection. A menu will pop up and it will say rendering operation, feather radius. I always do 0 for sharp lines. If you're a little questionable about it, you can add a 1 or 2 pixel feather and that'll just soften the edges a bit. So if you didn't take the time to cut very closely, you can kind of cheat it by adding a feather. Once your subject is selected and has that dotting moving line going around it, we need to delete the background. So we need to select everything except the subject. So we need to inverse the selection by going select in the top menu, inverse, or the keyboard shortcut as displayed is Shift Control I. Once you have that, you can easily just hit backspace, delete, etc. just to delete the background, and you will be left with the gray and white checkered background that indicates it's nothing. Make sure to cut out any interior holes using the same method where the background might be peeking through. Maybe your arm's on your hip and there's a loop that got missed, stuff like that. Make sure you cut those out as well using the same method. When you're ready to add the background, you can use maybe a photo you took that you want in the background, or you can go to a stock image website. What I like to do is simply go to Google, type in your search term, what kind of background you want, go to images, and then under tools, you want to click under usage rights, labeled for reuse with modification. This usually means that you have the right to edit the photo without permission, kind of thing. And then also change the size to large. Usually that means there's enough pixels to accommodate a professional photo that can be used for print quality pieces. Open up your file of choice in Photoshop, go back to your subject photo, select all. You can either do that in the drop-down menu at the top, select all, or the shortcut is Control A, and copy it, and then go to your background photo and paste it in. Depending on the size of the background versus the subject, you might have to do some size changing. You can use the transform tool. The shortcut is Control T, and then use the little handlebar things and adjust the size as needed. And then you can hit enter to confirm your changes. And then go to your background layer. It might be locked as a background layer. Double click it and hit enter or OK to make it a workable layer. And then what you want to do is go into filter, blur, Gaussian blur. That's the most even blur. It's best for backgrounds. A little menu will pop up and you can adjust the blur to whatever suits the photo for how far of a depth of field you want based on the angle, whatever works best for the photo. That's the basics of it. There might be some color adjustments, so go into your little panel. You can play with brightness, you can play with color, warmth, little things like that. If the most edits I do are usually based in this panel. I'll usually color balance, add a little pink or warm tone, make it match better the very bright pink background. And you can do these changes per layer. You just have to click the layer and then do the adjustments and then toggle the little button on the bottom, and it'll come with an arrow and then it just affects that layer. And then you're done. You can crop your photo if it needs to be cropped. You can make whatever other adjustments you need to. I want to talk about a bad edit. I did mention at the beginning to watch your lighting. This is an example of a bad photo. As you can tell, the lighting on my face is coming in from the right side. You can see shadows on my nose and the side of my face, yet the background photo appears to have light shining in from the back on the left side. And you can obviously tell it's where the sun coming in. The background was made to show the rays of light. So it doesn't work. You can definitely tell it's off. To an amateur, it might look cool because you just took a photo and put it on a different background, but these are things you need to be wary of because it does make a huge impact on your final photo. And that's literally it, guys. It took me 15 minutes to edit this photo, make adjustments I needed to, stuff like that. It was so easy. You just cut it out. I was on my laptop. I wasn't even using a mouse. I was using the trackpad. Okay, you guys, this is so easy. Why I do all these edits is because it's extremely easy. I'll do more tutorials like this, touch base on more basic concepts that I try to use for different photos. It's really fun to do, and I know you guys are learning something from it, so it's totally beneficial to both of us. So thanks for watching, and I hope this was super helpful. Bye!